evening and welcome to the Great Yorkshire Show, which is coming to you tonight live from Harrogate. And it's coming on a day that the Health and Safety Executive has launched a major clampdown to reduce the appalling number of deaths and injuries on our North East farms every year. And we'll be talking to one North Yorkshire farm worker who has a particularly harrowing tale to tell. We'll also be visiting Conservation Corner and finding out how you can help to save the lives of badgers. And I'll be asking the people at the show what they think of this stuff. Can you see it? It's a brand new cheese which went on the market today. It's very nice. And if cheese isn't to your taste, then what about a song? We've had a special song for the Great Yorkshire Show, composed today, and our band of wandering minstrels will be performing it later. It's a classic. I've heard them rehearsing. We'll see you back here live at Harrogate after the news.
Good evening. Detectives may reopen their investigation into the fire which caused £3 million worth of damage at York Minster. It follows a claim that the blaze could have been started deliberately. Investigations into the incident concluded that the fire was started by lightning. But today, on the 7th anniversary of the outbreak, a former chief fire officer has claimed that arson may have been the cause. The fire wrecked the Minster's south transept as a fierce electrical storm hit the region. But Terry Earnshaw, who was station commander at York Fire Station on the night, insists that evidence points to the blaze being started deliberately. He says the flames started 20 minutes before the Minster's alarms went off, and radioactive material, which was a vital part of the protection system, couldn't be found when experts combed the debris for clues. He claims it was deliberately removed. In addition, an access door to the south transept, which was normally kept locked, was open. Mr Earnshaw said an electrical fault couldn't be to blame because the Minster's floodlights stayed on throughout the incident. And he dismissed the possibility of lightning because the storm was actually happening several miles to the east. A spokesman for North Yorkshire Police said although their investigations at the time didn't appear to support arson, they would like to study Mr Earnshaw's information. 3 North East councils stand to lose over £1 million apiece following the collapse of the Bank of Credit and Commerce International. Both York and Selby councils in North Yorkshire and Alnwick District Council in Northumberland have admitted losses. All had money invested in the Luxembourg-based bank, which was closed following allegations of fraud and false accounting.
York City Council says that £1.3 million had been lent to the Bank of International Commerce and Credit. It was due to be returned on Wednesday together with interest, but now it seems that money is gone forever.
This morning at a hurriedly arranged news conference, council chiefs admitted that they'll have to dig into cash reserves to make up for their lost investment. The money deposited with the Bank of Credit and Commerce was in fact part of a £7 million lump sum collected from poll taxpayers in the city, which was to be handed over to the county council as their share of the community charge. But despite the loss, the City Council says these types of financial transactions are perfectly normal and routine, and point out that the bank in question was on a government list of approved financial houses.
I think it's important to realise that this is money which we have received, and it would be quite wrong and imprudent for us to just leave it on the current account, earning no interest. There are considerable amounts of interest, and the benefit of that interest falls back to the community charge payer. All local authorities do this. It is, in my view, good financial practice that if you've got surplus funds that you don't need for perhaps a week or a fortnight, that at current interest rates you can actually help the community charge payers in the long term by investing this, knowing full well that you can call it back at a later date.
But there are pitfalls.
Unfortunately, this has proved that there is a significant pitfall, and as I say, the reliance upon the credibility of a list produced by the Bank of England and circulated by the Department of Environment is something that we've got to look at most seriously now.
But York's Tory MP, Conal Gregory, says the Labour Council has simply been reckless with poll taxpayers' money.
Quite frankly, although it had technical authorisation, nevertheless, to put community charge money at risk in this way is quite reprehensible. I would now like to have a series of very detailed questions answered by York City Council, such as whether the brokers to the council offered a number of banks or simply this one, and what inquiries they made, because we're talking about a bank that's been involved with laundering of drug money. They were aware of that and yet still put this money at risk.
And it emerged this afternoon that neighbouring Selby District Council has also lost money in the bank. A spokesman declined to give the exact figure, but said it was a substantial amount. And at Alnwick, no one was saying exactly how much there, but a spokesman confirmed that it was more than £1 million, but